Games have the power to transport us to fantastical worlds and weave complex, absorbing narratives. They're also emotional time bombs that threaten to go off at any moment, blasting your feelings into a million tiny pieces with their gut-churning plot twists and harrowing revelations. Companion Cube, why? Here then are 5 heartbreaking moments in games, as picked by Outside Xtra and Outside Xbox, that we're really not ready to talk about, but by golly, we will try. Along the way, beware broken hearts and spoilers for the following.
Now listen, Jack, Gnarly, get on this horse. Get out of here. Go find a place to hide.
You're coming with us, Paul.
I'll catch up. You keep riding and don't look back. And don't be worried about me, you hear? Now get going.
You stay out of trouble, John.
Ain't no trouble, Abigail. Ain't no trouble. I love you.
I love you.
Now go! Get!
Bet you all thought when you saw Red Dead Redemption that it was going to be Andy sitting here, but no, I nabbed this one. Red Dead Redemption is one of my favourite games of all time, and John Marston is the thing that holds it all together. This brilliant character and his story, you know, it's Red Dead Redemption. He's trying to redeem himself from his gang days. The character was so well developed and so good, and the voice acting was amazing.
So, how do you feel?
I don't know the polite word for it.
I do. Stupid is the word we use around here. What were you doing?
I was doing something stupid.
Well, you'll be okay.
Such dry humour as well. I just loved his entire personality. I played it in started playing it in 2011, so like a year after it came out. One of the times that I was glad that I had the game spoiled for me, because I found out John Marston doesn't make it to the end of the game, and I just couldn't deal. I couldn't. No. So instead of playing the game to the end, I played it till about 1 or 2 missions before that mission and just stayed there for 5 years. And he's all happy on his farm with his wife and Jack, and it's all good. Last year, I had to get some capture for that mission, and it's horrible. He walks out of his barn doors after sending away his son and wife, like to be like, go be safe, go ride away on a horse, and he walks out and there's just so many guys out there all waiting just for him. What really is no, is it gives you this last ditch effort to deadeye as many of them as you can. It's like, I am not going down without a fight, and you're like, go John! But it's not good enough. And then there's just this horrible cutscene where the best person in the world ever in video games is just being shot to pieces. You then immediately switch to Jack, and he's like, they hear the gunshots. And so you go, it's not just like he's died, that's it. No, he's died. And then you have to go back and you find his dead body as his son and wife. And it's just like, no. No. Please no. So now I have 2 saves. One that I play, where John Marston is fine and is alive forever. And then another one that I don't talk about.
There is no contest for the most heartbreaking moment in video games. It's been written a zillion times, and that is the emotional grenade that is the death of Aeris in Final Fantasy VII. So Aeris is a character that you meet very early on in the game. She's a flower seller. She appears to be just sort of an incidental character, and then you meet her later on in the game when you fall through the roof of a church for some reason. And onto a pile of flowers. And anyway, she sort of tends you back to health, and you kind of hang out at her house, meet her adopted mum, who's lovely. You met the folks, and there's the hint of a kind of budding romance. And when you get to the Golden Saucer, you can go on a date. When you're thinking, well, you know, maybe they'll get together. And then before it has a chance to progress beyond the sort of first date stage, she dies. You've chased her to this forgotten city. You're anticipating that you'll rescue her and everything will be fine. You go and see Aeris and she's sort of praying at this altar type thing. And then Sephiroth, the bad guy, just falls out of the sky with his sword pointing downwards. Horrible. Cloud just sort of dumps her in a lake. It's a bit weird. So it felt a bit guilty because she's pulled into this giant movement to try and save the planet when she could have been quite happily living in Sector 7 slums or wherever it is she lives as a flower girl, and then she eventually dies because of that. I mean, it later transpires that she's the final member of a race of ancient beings and is the only one with the power to stop the apocalypse, but we could have not known that and then she'd have been fine. Instead, we dragged her along and all of a sudden she gets killed. I felt really bad about that. It's not just an emotional tragedy, it's a practical tragedy as well, because I spent a really long time building up her stats. She was always in my squad. It's not just about you, Aeris, it's about the team. Okay? Final Fantasy VII was one of the first CD-based sort of storytelling games that really kind of captured people's imaginations. It was this vast world. The characters were people you spent hours with and really got to know. The games I love now are games like Mass Effect, where you go on this enormous voyage with a bunch of characters, and it's really less about the action and much more about the interactions between the characters and really developing a relationship with those characters. So yeah, it really hit me quite hard because that was the first game of that sort where I'd gotten that engrossed and involved in the characters over, say, the running around and shooting or the battle system or whatever. And so yeah, to have that kind of rug pulled out from under me during that very first sort of moment was like, yeah, unforgettable, absolutely unforgettable.
All right, come on.
Hey, wait.
Okay, you're going to hear on this list a lot of things about death and betrayals, but I can exclusively reveal right here, right now, that the most heartbreaking thing that's ever happened in video games is much more low-key. It's the moment in The Last of Us when you lie to Ellie. Some background, everyone is zombies in The Last of Us, and no one's very happy about it. You are Joel, you're this older dude, you've got some emotional baggage because at the start of the zombie-ness you lost your daughter.
No.
And you sort of team up with Ellie, who's this plucky young girl, and she's super feisty, and she's been bitten, oh no, but she's not died or gone all gross and mangy and zombie-ish, which sort of implies that she might be immune, which is very exciting. You're trying to get Ellie to a group of people called the Fireflies, who are this sort of militia, with the hope that once you get her there, they'll be able to extract a cure from Ellie and save the world, and everything will be fine. While Ellie is unconscious, it transpires that if she has this operation to extract her magic cure blood or whatever, she'll die.
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
Joel takes Ellie unconscious and kills all the scientists and just breaks free because he cannot bear the idea of her being killed. Once you're sort of free and clear, Ellie comes to, and she's asking you like what happened, because she's been out the whole time, and Joel basically says, turns out there were loads like you, they've given up on finding a cure though. And there's this moment where Ellie looks at Joel and she's like swear to me that like what you're saying is true.
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
And Joel, just cold as anything, is like,
I swear.
Okay.
and that's the end of the game. And when it first happened to me, I was like, oh, because it's kind of what I wanted to happen. I think most people who played the game, like, it's kind of the ending you wanted, because by that point, it's just completely unconscionable, the idea that you would let Ellie die. She's she's the best, and like she's really cool, and the bond that she has with Joel is really, really, really special. So you definitely don't want her to die, but then she probably would have wanted to die if it meant giving a cure. So what you're doing is kind of selfish. You're kind of happy about what happened, but also you've sort of like slightly besmirched that special relationship because it's now built on lies. Terrible lies. More than any other game, it just kind of eats at you until there's nothing left. It's like, it's a real emotional slow burn. It's not like a no moment. And you find yourself rationalizing Joel's decision because you're like, what use would a cure be at this point? Like everything's gone fully zombie. It's like years and years after the outbreak. Joel killing the scientist was maybe a misstep, but they were going to, they were going to kill Ellie.
Attorney?
You find yourself making these excuses for Joel because it's what you wanted. You wanted Ellie to be alive and get out of there. And it's not until the end of the game where you lie to her and you realise what a massive thing you've done, taking that choice away from her. Man, yeah, I'm sorry, Ellie. Or am I sorry? I don't know. It's hard. That, yeah, man, Last of Us. It doesn't get more emotionally wrecking than that.
I didn't want to become king, and you knew that. But it had to be. But being king, that raises some questions about us. About you and me.
Let's talk about Dragon Age Origins and my most heartbreaking moment and heartbreaking game memory. It's the moment where I died, but just prior to that, I got broken up with by my Dragon Age boyfriend. So it was a double whammy of heartbreak. My Dragon Age bae was Alistair, who was just the blonde dimwit from Dragon Age Origins. He's very sweet.
Not that I'm some drooling lecher or anything. Please stop looking at me like that.
He is the bastard set to inherit the throne. He's like the Jon Snow, which makes him sound a lot cooler than he actually is. He's an adorable dummy.
First it's, I like you, but then zap, frog time.
He, through your various heroings, becomes king, and you've spent the entire game, you know, like journeying with him and always choosing him to be in your party because he is your Dragon Age boyfriend. And then right at the end, it's like things get real. He's like, well, I'm king now. You're a circle mage, not a human noble. And they're going to expect me to marry a human noble and have an heir to the throne. And you're probably infertile because you're a warden.
All the Grey Wardens I knew with children had them before they joined the Order. I will need to find a wife, one who can bear a child, who will live to raise it. I don't relish it, but I will have a duty as the king.
And he's like, you can't have a baby and you're not noble, and I'm really sorry about it, but it's over. He doesn't do it like that. He is actually quite sweet about it, but still. And I'm like, what? But
I need to go back to the camp. Be by myself for a while.
So the thing is, I'm used to BioWare romances, which I know very well, obviously, being quite, and in the nicest possible way, quite pandering. Your romantic prospects, they're all lovely and everything works out fine, and no one dumps you. If anything, you dump anyone you see fit. And so it was actually extremely unexpected, shall we say. It was surprising and tragic and heartbreaking. And then you have to go and fight this archdemon who's like this big F-off dragon. And it turns out that the only way to kill this big F-off dragon is whoever like strikes the killing blow has to die. And I'm like, Alistair, fine. Watch me go kill this archdemon. Bastard. So I'm like, archdemon. And then I'm dead, and then see how you like that, Alistair. So it's very bittersweet. Like, you've saved the kingdom from the blight, but not for you. And that's my heartbreak memory that I have yet to get over. The time my boyfriend dumped me, and then I had to kill a dragon, and then I died.
You can take care of yourself, see?
No, not all the time.
Yeah, you can. Don't worry.
So I imagine the others will probably have all sorts of like, oh, Aeris from Final Fantasy, and oh, it was sad. And I'm like, yes, but was it as sad as the end of The Walking Dead Season 1? The answer is no, because it wasn't, and that is the saddest. At the end of the season 1 of The Walking Dead, Lee, the character you play as, lovely Lee, lovely big oak of a man, kindly oak, big bear Lee, old big bear, that's what we used to call him. He gets bitten by a zombie, and he's dying of zombieism, which, if you've seen The Walking Dead, you know that's a bad thing. So him and Clementine, who is the little girl you've been looking after throughout the whole of season 1 of The Walking Dead, they go to a building, I forget exactly, it was an office or something.
I was so scared. I thought you left me.
I already had cut Lee's arm off at the start of the episode because I didn't want Lee to die. I wanted him to be there to raise Clementine. And then Lee handcuffs himself to a radiator because he's going to turn into a zombie. And then you're given the choice of whether to let Clementine shoot you, to euthanize you, to stop you turning into a zombie, or to not do that.
You'll be just like them.
It's okay. It won't be me.
Lee!
Clem, it's time to go. You gotta get out of here.
You can come with me.
No, honey, I can't.
I said, no, don't shoot me, because that'll be a horrible memory for you, Clementine, going forward, and you are the most important thing in this game.
Wouldn't it have offered her like valuable target practice?
She doesn't need target practice.
No such thing as too much practice.
You have a little last conversation with Clementine, and you can offer her advice. You can tell her to keep her hair short, because otherwise zombies will grab it and get her. But it's heartbreaking. You have a proper final conversation with this little girl who's too young for all of this.
I'll miss you.
Me too.
I genuinely cried. I was at home just playing the game on my own, and I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm going to pause for a while.
Don't go.
And then it was heartbreaking. I haven't actually played The Walking Dead since. I've not played. There's been more seasons. Not played them. Thank you. I'm just going to assume she went on and she went to the next town, and they went, oh yeah, that zombie outbreak, that was just in that one town. Everything's fine over here. And then Lee woke up later, having got better.
So those were some of the moments in games that really, broke our hearts. And we're not quite over them yet, but we pushed through for you guys, for your entertainment. So if you could repay us by giving us a like, a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments moments that really, really hurt you in games as well. And also, if you want to cheer yourself up, okay? Sorry. We've got some playlists here of more fun videos for you to watch. It's really great. You should subscribe here because we really need the support, guys. We're really upset. It's upsetting.